The early morning light filtered into the expansive master bedroom, gently stirring awake its sole occupant. Anna blinked awake, sighing as she slowly sat up amidst the luxurious satin sheets. As always, the other half of the massive custom-made bed lay cold and untouched. Her husband David had not come home again last night. Anna swung her long legs over the edge of the bed, the cold marble floor sending a chill up her spine. She stood and stretched gracefully, her sheer nightgown fluttering around her slender frame. At 29, her body was still as youthful and flawless as it had been the day she'd married the 42-year-old David fresh out of college. She'd been young, starry-eyed and swept away by his success, charm, and lavish gifts. Their glitzy social media portrait depicted true love, a real-life Cinderella story. Only Anna knew the truth now, after a decade of marriage. The magic had faded all too quickly once the rings were exchanged and the papers signed, leaving little but disillusionment. David's work was his one true love and she a beautiful showpiece on his arm at events. Over the years his ever-increasing fortune had built them a life of incredible luxury and privilege, but left little affection remaining in their relationship. Anna made her way to her massive walk-in closet to pick out an outfit. Her fingers drifted over endless racks of designer gowns, furs, shoes, and jewelry. She selected an elegant Chanel dress and Louboutin heels. David expected her to look nothing short of perfection at his company events. As she surveyed herself in the mirror, she tried to ignore the slight dark circles under her eyes that even the best concealer couldn't fully hide. Walking the grand spiral staircase, Anna wandered the sprawling mansion's empty halls aimlessly. She passed room after cavernous room flawlessly decorated but devoid of any real signs of life. Fancy furniture sat pristine and untouched, modern art lined the walls gathering dust. There were no family photos smiling back at her. The only pitter-patter of little feet came from the 2 Yorkshire Terriers David had bought her last Christmas to assuage his guilt over missing their anniversary party. The house staff were already bustling about readying breakfast and preparing for the day. They greeted Anna politely as always, but kept their distance. There was an invisible social wall between the wealthy mistress of the estate and those who served her that could never be broken down. Anna envied their camaraderie though, the way they laughed and chatted happily amongst themselves. Sometimes she wondered if a single person in this place truly cared for her. Anna drifted out to the veranda to eat her breakfast under the bright morning sun. As she picked at the gourmet meal laid out before her, she pulled out her phone and checked her messages habitually. Still nothing from David since the perfunctory text he'd sent yesterday that he would be working late and not to wait up. After all these years, the disappointment still stung. She scrolled through her social feed searching for a distraction. All of the beautiful people in her circle seemed to live such active, exciting lives. Photos of lavish vacations and parties, selfies highlighting beauty and status. She posted less and less herself these days, struggling to find content that lived up to the carefully curated image from earlier years. Spunky captions about adventures with her dashing husband had faded over time to forced smiles or artsy shots that avoided showing her face altogether. Even her follower count had plateaued. After all, the public was always looking for the next bright new star and the close-up reality of a fading marriage wasn't nearly so glamorous or aspirational. Anna wandered back inside, her mind restless. She passed David's grand office, the sight of his imposing antique wooden desk sparking a wave of emotion. She pushed open the heavy door and entered the inner sanctum few were allowed to see. This was his true home more than the bedrooms or veranda they ostensibly shared upstairs. The surface of the desk held an organized spread of important-looking documents and several framed photos of David shaking hands with business celebrities and political elites. Nowhere was a photo of the two of them smiling in happier times. Overcome by a sudden urge, Anna opened his top desk drawer hoping for, what exactly? Anything to feel connected to the stranger she called her husband. Perhaps an unmailed love letter tucked amidst the work papers, or even just a forgotten selfie from years ago. Her brow furrowed as she sorted through documents and office supplies. Nothing even remotely personal. Until suddenly her fingers brushed something unexpected, a small unmarked key taped to the underside of the drawer. Mystified, her heart beat faster as she carefully worked it free. What secret could this key possibly reveal? She had long believed David incapable of surprises, but this strange discovery proved her wrong. Holding the delicate key tightly in her fist, she resolved to learn its secrets. First though, she must get through today's tedious board luncheon, playing the supportive wife. Later, once David left for the office, the real search could begin. Anna arrived early at the soaring glass-walled conference center downtown, as David preferred. The annual shareholders' meeting was one of Sparkstone Analytics' most important events, a chance for the rich and powerful figures behind the data science corporation to rub elbows and flatter each other. The majority of conversations would go over Anna's head, discussions of analytics and dividends utterly boring to her. But none of that mattered when she made her entrance at David's side. a vision in her designer outfit and Louboutins, brilliant smile flashing. She was there for decorative purposes only and she knew it. Nonetheless, David's colleagues and clients couldn't stop raving about his beautiful, charming wife. And through it all, she made sure the bubbly praise never left her lips. Anna drifts from one meaningless conversation to another, sipping champagne. As noon approaches, she notices David frowning down at his phone display. His expression clouds darker until he's nearly glowering. Anna watches him discreetly, heart quickening though she keeps her own smile plastered in place. Finally he strides over, the charming grin returning to his face though it doesn't reach his eyes. "Darling, I'm so sorry but it seems there's a situation at the Hong Kong office that requires my urgent attention. I'm going to have to leave before lunch is served." He leans in, pecking her lightly on the cheek. "Why don't you stay and enjoy yourself? I'm sure you won't miss me boring you with business conversations you have no interest in." He's gone before she can respond, the lingering scent of his expensive cologne fading quickly. Anna fights to maintain her smile but her shoulders slump slightly as she watches him disappear. "Trouble in paradise?" A amused voice speaks suddenly from behind Anna. She turns to see Blake Carter regarding her, his bright blue eyes twinkling. Her best friend cuts a dashing figure in his designer suit, his dark blonde hair carefully tousled just so. Blake is heir apparent to his family's enormous luxury hotel chain. He and Anna had bonded years ago at a Ivy League mixer for the privileged elite. His playboy exploits and penchant for pushing boundaries had complemented Anna's adventurous wild child phase perfectly. She had found his daring nature thrilling, pulling harmless pranks and sneaking into VIP parties together. Blake never failed to make her laugh with his wildly creative schemes. Of course that was all before she'd settled down with David. She'd introduced Blake and David over dinner multiple times back then, but the two men had never quite clicked for some reason. As Anna's life grew increasingly intertwined with David's world of wealth and power, she'd seen Blake less and less. But somehow their unlikely connection had endured, the history of teenage rebellion binding them despite their vastly disparate lives. Blake knew Anna's spirit in a way few others did, the fiery rule-breaker buried under the glacial socialite facade. "Oh Blake. No, just business as usual." Anna replies airily, knowing Blake sees right through the casual act. Blake lifts a single eyebrow. "Business? Is that what we're calling ditching your wife at the company's biggest event now?" Anna swats his arm playfully. "Stop. David just got an urgent call from Hong Kong, that's all. Duty calls." "Uh-huh. And Hong Kong couldn't wait an hour for Golden Boy's big speech?" Blake snags 2 fresh glasses of champagne off a passing waiter's tray, handing one to Anna. "What a shame he's missing all this riveting conversation. We must be devastated down to our Louboutins." Anna giggles, some tension leaving her body. She's missed Blake's playful style. No one else she knows these days would dare tease about her husband. None of the other wives make fun of anything or anyone anymore, likely fearful of losing status with a careless remark overheard and spread by vicious gossips. Everyone constantly watches what they say and who might be listening, jockeying for position in their circle. But thankfully she and Blake had forged their bond long before all these petty hierarchy games began. Well, it is a party after all. We should enjoy it regardless. Anna tilts her head toward the glittering tower rooftop garden. Blake grins mischievously and offers his arm. Laughing, Anna allows him to lead her out into the sunshine and fresh air. She takes a deep breath, gazing at the incredible view spread out before them. Being alone with Blake always brings out her sense of fun and adventure, makes her feel alive again. They chat and joke easily about old shared memories and mutual acquaintances. Blake makes Anna smile more in 1 hour than she has in months lately. They carefully avoid the topic of David. Blake had made his feelings about Anna's husband and their marriage abundantly clear over the years. He'd seen the playboy for who he was early on, warning Anna off dating someone so much older and concerned only with business success. But she had been too dazzled by David's extravagant courtship to listen at the time. As the conversation lulls, Anna finds herself studying Blake. The midday sun glows softly on his handsome face as he gazes out at the city below them. There's a strength in his chiseled jawline now that hadn't been there at 19 when they'd snuck into nightclubs together. His eyes hold new maturity and thoughtfulness, no doubt carved there by years helming his family's demanding global empire. Time and success have polished him from a rebellious rich boy into confident tycoon. But then he turns, meeting her eyes with that deep gaze, and Anna sees the old friend who'd covered for her so many wild nights is still in there too. Her cheeks redden slightly at the prolonged eye contact and Anna glances away. An unfamiliar flutter passes through her chest, surprising in its newness. She takes a quick sip of champagne to cover it. "Well, you look like you survived the afternoon at least." Anna turns gratefully to see her younger sister Gia sashaying toward them in a flash of wild red curls and flowy bohemian skirt. "Ugh, these corporate events are the worst. I bet you're thrilled you dragged your baby sis along now, Anna smiles, buoyed by both Blake and now Gia's presence. Very. You really saved me today. Blake chuckles, giving Gia an amused glance. Somehow I don't see you belonging to the corporate world, Gia. Ugh, can you even imagine? Gia tosses her curls dramatically. I start getting hives if I have to stay in the same place longer than 15 minutes. My art is just so much more. She twirls her hands through the air, searching for the right words. Free spirits aren't made for cubicles and cash flow analysis. Blake raises his glass. I salute you avoiding all that with such creative flair. Why thank you. Gia graces him with an exaggerated bow. At least someone appreciates visionaries around here. Anna adores her sister fiercely, but privately agrees with Blake's assessment. Strong-willed Gia lives precisely as she pleases, drifting from passion to passion, jewelry design, painting, photography, ceramics, dabbling in whichever artistic mood strikes but rarely committing to one for long. She bounces from sublet to sublet in the trendy downtown neighborhoods favored by young creatives and party crowds. Money remains barely a passing concern thanks to a generous monthly allowance from their family funds. Anna can't imagine her sister ever holding down a traditional job or building the sort of stratified home and lifestyle she maintains. But sometimes she envies Gia that freedom of spirit and whim. The three chat a while longer until Blake glances regretfully at his flashy Rolex. Well ladies, unfortunately this has been lovely but I need to put in an appearance at the hotel board meeting across town. He shakes his head ruefully. We can't all spend the afternoon simply gazing at the views now, can we? He touches Anna gently on the shoulder. I'm serious though, call me any time if you want to meet up. We really are overdue to catch up properly. His eyes sear into hers with unspoken meaning. Anna's heart flutters lightly again and this time his gaze definitely lingers an extra beat before sliding away. I will. Have fun at your meeting. Gia fans herself exaggeratedly as Blake walks off. Well, look at Mr. Hunky Hot Hotel Air all grown up. Don't you two have some history? Anna laughs, hoping desperately Gia doesn't notice her flushed cheeks. Oh my god, you have no idea. We used to get into some crazy hijinks back in college and even after. She shakes her head at the memories, amazed they'd never been caught for some of their wild schemes breaking into celebrity parties and joyriding golf carts through campus. Zaziswan ibozao knowingly. I bet you did. No wonder tall, dark and handsome back there keeps looking at you all moony-eyed. Watch out sis, that one clearly still carries a torch. Oh stop it. Anna gigles nervously. We're just old friends, not like that. Sayer. Gia clearly doesn't believe her for a minute but lets it drop. In that case, how about we get our party on somewhere a little livelier? I'm thinking this calls for manicures and many margaritas. Why do you say? Anna glances reflexively back down at her phone. Still no word from David of course. She feels a twinge of unease considering heading out for a frivolous afternoon instead of returning straight home. After all these years, old habits die hard and David still expects obedience to his many unspoken rules. But today rebellion seethes under her skin for some reason. Why shouldn't she go enjoy herself with her sister? Mind flashing back to David's cool dismissal earlier and Blake's smoldering glance, Anna makes a snap decision. Let's do it. Gia cheers excitedly as Anna links their arms together and leads them out the lobby doors toward adventure. She can't remember the last time she felt so daring or free. As the loud streets envelop them, Anna straightens her posture, chin lifted confidently. The hidden key presses firmly in her clutch purse, infusing her with fresh courage. Tonight when she returns home, she will unlock its secrets at last. Laughing giddily, Anna trails after her wild child sister through the loud, chaotic city streets. She feels lighter than she has in years. Gia weaves confidently through the trendy downtown neighborhoods until they arrive at her favorite nail salon, a funky botanical-themed storefront simply called The Garden. Inside, soft new-age music pipes through speakers tucked among lush potted plants and vines dangling from the ceiling. The scent of essential oils and acetone mingles in the humid air. Gia air kisses the owner, a late 40-something woman with flowing silver hair and intricate sleeve tattoos. Girls, meet my soul sister, Sage. Gia announces, already shedding her flowy layers to sink into the massage chair. Anna smiles politely at Sage but feels instantly awkward and out of place amidst the earthy bohemian surroundings. Her sleek designer dress and perfect blowout starkly contrast Sage's long peasant skirt and effortless tousled locks. For a moment Anna almost suggests they try another salon, one where she won't feel so much like an outsider. But the delight on her sister's face stays her tongue. She reminds herself today is about adventure and release. Several mint tea infusions later, Anna relaxes slightly as a technician scrubs her feet with aromatic oils and shapes her nails into glossy ovals. Strange new age music drones softly in the background. Anna closes her eyes, letting her mind wander. She startles when Gia suddenly blurts out, "So, about Blake." Anna jerks her feet reflexively, earning a stern look from her technician poised mid-brushstroke on her big toe. Sheepishly, Anna forces herself to remain still. Oblivious, Gia presses on eagerly. "You guys seriously never hooked up back in college? Come on, I need details." Anna clears her throat, heat rising to her cheeks. She avoids meeting the sudden interested glances from Sage and the other techs. I guess we fooled around very briefly," she admits softly, eyes downcast as if the chipped polish on her nails has become utterly engrossing. "We were both drinking a lot during those crazy parties and sometimes things just happened. But it was never serious." So there were things, Gia's eyes sparkle impishly. "Do tell." Anna shifts, images from those wild college nights she'd tried so hard to lock away now rushing back against her will. She remembers the drunken thrill of Blake's strong hands tangling through her long hair, his muscular body pressing her back against cool brick walls as his hot mouth devoured hers hungrily, stumbling together through dark corridors until they collapsed into some empty bedroom, clothing disappearing rapidly. Anna shuts the memories down hard, shame burning through her. What must these strangers think of her wanton past? Her eyes flick upward but detect only kindness and understanding in the technician's expressions. Sage pats her shoulder gently. "The past is gone, dear one. Don't waste today judging yourself for old choices. What matters is who you are now, and who you want to become." Her voice rings soothingly with acceptance. Gia beams approval at Sage's words. "Hell yes. No judgment here, sis. We all got up to crazy stuff when we were young. At least you landed the boring rich dude in the end to keep you in designer shoes. That's winning the game." Everyone laughs while Anna manages a weak smile. Only she knows the steep price paid over the long lonely years for those material comforts. She sometimes suspects Gia understands too on some deeper level, but her sister always seems to breeze past Anna's unhappiness with determined optimism. Sage gives Anna's newly lacquered nails an approving nod before releasing her hands. "There you are, lovely. Go enjoy the rest of this beautiful day." Her warm smile soothes Anna's lingering self-consciousness. The sisters both hug Sage before heading out onto the street, steps buoyant. Gia threads her arm through Anna's affectionately. "Feeling reckless still? Want to grab drinks somewhere?" Anna checks the time, heart sinking to realize it's nearly 4 p.m. already. The staff at home expect her by 6 to dress for the Chamber of Commerce dinner she and David committed 2 weeks ago. Her afternoon escape has flown faster than she could have imagined. As tempting as that sounds, duty calls I'm afraid, Anna sighs regretfully. "I'm expected at another boring society event tonight. Rain check though? Bu zapauta de zamatikas. You know where to find me when you finally bust out of that gilded cage they've stuffed you in." She tosses her fiery curls. "I still say you should just ditch Sir Borzalot and come live with your fun sister. Plenty of room in my walk-up." Anna laughs at the absurd suggestion as they pause to say goodbye at the subway entrance. Her eyes soften fondly at her baby sister though, knowing Gia truly believes running away together could solve anything. "Thanks Gia, I love you," she whispers emotionally, squeezing her sister tight. Today meant the world, it truly did. Gia returns the embrace just as fiercely. They remain locked together a long moment before finally separating. Anna watches pensively as her sister descends the concrete steps alone until her bright head vanishes from sight. Squaring her shoulders, Anna slowly makes her way back across the city toward the stately Upper East Side neighborhood she calls home. Her heart grows heavier with each city block, the carefree joy of the afternoon bleeding away. By the time her Uber glides through the elaborate stone gates guarding their private driveway, Anna's stomach churns with dread. Inside she finds the household staff bustling busily to prepare for the caterers and florists soon to descend. Anna manages tired smiles for each as she climbs wearily up the grand staircase. Her phone pings repeatedly now with texts and notifications, the outside world clamoring for her attention once more. The cavernous bedroom seems to mock Anna with its excessive opulence as she strips out of Gia's casual loner clothes. She stands critically examining her reflection in lacy lingerie. Does she seem different somehow? Can anyone sense the long-buried memories and forbidden desires clawing inside her? Shaking her head sharply, Anna hurries into the elaborate master bath to wash away any lingering traces of the afternoon. She avoids her own eyes in the mirror now as she transforms flawlessly back into the primped and polished socialite worthy of powerful tycoon David Locke's arm. Her makeup is airbrushed perfection, not a coppery hair dares fall out of place. The glamorous illusion intact, Anna selects an elegant black gown with keyhole bodice from her endless closet. She pointedly does not let her mind wander to thoughts of how David will react seeing her in it tonight after weeks of growing distance between them. Love and intimacy departed their marriage long ago, she reminds herself, bitterly climbing into the waiting town car. Anna arrives to flashing paparazzi bulbs and immediate fawning from the elite guests. David remains occupied across the ballroom holding court with local politicians and developers nearly the entire night. They maintain cordial distance when forced together briefly for photos. Anna plasters on her expensive smile, playing the picture-perfect wife on command. She ignores the cream envelope David slips into his suit jacket early on, eyebrows lifting subtly. No good can come from questioning him tonight. Sometime past midnight, the seemingly endless event finally winds down. Anna waits patiently in the idling limousine for David to finish his last round of drinks with an assortment of greasy power players. He practically stumbles into the car a half hour later, skin flushed, top buttons of his shirt undone and pupils artificially wide. Anna turns her face away in disgust but says nothing. David passes out moments after arriving home, fully clothed atop the antique Egyptian cotton sheets. Anna stands over him fighting revulsion, fists clenched tightly until crescent marks imprint her palms. Everything about this lifeless pantomime of a marriage revolts her in this moment. She wants to scream and rage at him, but of course that would be quite improper for David Locke's household. Instead, she calmly changes into practical loungewear before descending to the basement office suite David maintains primarily for show. It's the only space in their sprawling home Anna senses his presence at all anymore. Floor-to-ceiling bookcases dominate the room impressively, although she doubts David has read even a tenth of the financial and historical volumes housed there. One wall holds an elaborate iron safe Anna knows contains important company contracts and data chips. She's watched David open it enough times to know the combination starts with their wedding date. Anna spins the dial experimentally, hand trembling with adrenaline as the massive door clicks open. Her conscience wars with dark curiosity. She shouldn't be here, shouldn't invade David's privacy this way, no matter how terribly their marriage has unraveled. But then her fingers brush the mysterious key in her pocket once more. Fighting back guilt, Anna grabs David's laptop and inserts the slender drive into the port. At first everything seems typical: financial spreadsheets, confidential mergers and acquisitions details, sketches, and plans for that modern eyesore of an office tower David insisted on building against city objections. Anna schemes it all impatiently. After almost an hour she's begun losing hope of uncovering anything noteworthy. Clearly David guards more mundane work secrets than she hoped here. She moves the cursor to shut it all down in defeat when an innocuously named folder catches her attention. Something about the date gives her pause, just 2 weeks after their anniversary when David had been conspicuously absent at his office for over 18 hours. Heart suddenly hammering, Anna opens the cryptically titled folder with trembling hands, and gasps aloud at dozens of graphic images filling the screen. David and a host of naked young women engaged in sex acts of increasing obscenity. In a lavishly decorated suite she recognizes immediately as one of Blake Carter's luxury hotels. Shock and bile rise in her throat as Anna helplessly clicks through more damning photos. David's gold wedding band glints back mockingly amidst the sea of tangled limbs and contorted faces. A strangled cry escapes her lips. This can't be real. David had always insisted his long hours were the necessary cost of their gilded lives. That the rewards outweighed the frequent loneliness and broken plans. He always claimed business required his full devotion, so what was this? Anna clutches her roiling stomach with one hand, the other gripping the laptop edge with white-knuckled force. Disbelief wars with devastation. She thought she knew the worst of David's self-absorbed neglect, but this willful desecration of their wedding vows stabs viciously deeper. Fighting angry tears, Anna forces herself to keep scrolling through the depraved images until she notices a thin file folder titled simply Carter Initiative tucked in the bottom corner. Heart in her throat, she opens it with dread already pooling. Her worst fears actualize, seeing dozens of photos and documents outlining an aggressive plan to force takeover of Blake's struggling Bayshore hotel chain, the heritage inheritance he'd dedicated years restoring to profitability. Anna stares agape at David's gleefully annotated blueprint to wrest Blake's beloved family legacy away through backdoor threats and financial sabotage. He intended to leave Blake bankrupt and humiliated, and he planned every vicious detail from the same suite where he'd entertained all those hookers on their anniversary. Rage and disgust wash over Anna in unrelenting waves now. She shoves violently away from the desk, sending the heavy leather chair toppling backward. For long moments she paces the office in short, jerky bursts, hands flexing and fisting repeatedly at her sides. She burns to confront David, to scream the ugly truth she's uncovered into his handsome lying face. But Anna gradually regains control through sheer force of will, channels the white-hot fury into icy calm determination. Men like David Locke only respected shows of strength after all. And she refused to reveal how deeply this betrayal eviscerated her without planning the most ruinous counterattack possible. When she strikes back at David, it must be swift, vicious, and unexpected. Anna carefully writes down details of Blake's hotel chain from the financials as well as all recent correspondence from David's rich contacts interested in the acquisition. She'll discreetly begin buying up whatever shares she can manage in secret. She emails David's full adulterous dossier and Carter Initiative scheme to an encrypted offshore account for later leverage. Finally prepared, Anna meticulously clears the laptop history and relocks the safe. With steel resolve, she erases all hints of her midnight discovery before ascending the silent staircase. If David notices anything amiss in their bed that night, Anna keeps her breathing deep and face neutral until he rolls over snoring. Plotting furiously behind her still facade, she waits patiently for dawn to break. Anna dresses with focused precision the next morning, mentally preparing for battle. She selects a conservative business suit that projects icy competence. Standing tall in heels that echo sharper confidence, Anna makes her way downstairs while David showers. In the silent kitchen, Anna informs the head housekeeper she'll be working from home today. With clipped efficiency, she requests no interruptions for meetings. The staff scatter efficiently, sensing the atypical tension radiating from their poised mistress. Ensconced in David's basement office, Anna uses his laptop to transfer significant funds from their myriad accounts into an untraceable holding account. She has no intention of bankrupting David completely or destroying the lifestyle his business maintains. But excising chunks of his precious fortune will wound his ego deeply. The offshore account containing David's adulterous photos and hostile takeover plans stands ready to deploy as added leverage if needed. Anna spends hours researching Blake's financial jonquil and current Bayshore hotel valuations. She contacts the specialist attorney who handled her prenuptial agreements years ago to discreetly buy up all available BHC stock. Nearly a third of Blake's company shares trade hands within 48 hours, though no documents list Anna's name anywhere. She knows Blake has fought tooth and nail to keep his family's legacy intact against vulture investors and crippling debt. Now she can ensure his cherished birthright stays safely in his hands, away from David's vicious schemes. Late that night, Anna waits calmly in the master bedroom when David returns home expecting a compliant wife smiling vacuously. Instead, his confident arrogance shatters, seeing Anna regarding him coolly, clearly no longer playing her role. Anna remains seated regally atop their bed, posture perfect and expression carved from stone. "We need to discuss the future of this marriage. Now," she begins without preamble. David blusters initially, blaming her mercurial moods and making paternal noises about soothing her irrational feminine worries. But Anna merely taps at laptop keys until the dossier of his indiscretions shine in sickening detail on the large wall screen. She watches his ruddy face pale, rapidly scrolling through image after damning image. "I think you'll find I have ample rational reasons for my doubts," Anna remarks crisply into the echoing silence. "Shall we speak frankly now?" What follows devolves into screaming accusations and transparent lies from David. He falls to knees begging at one point when Anna presents divorce terms guaranteeing her half of all assets plus ironclad proof of his exhaustive infidelities. She remains stoically unmoved throughout, resolved not to reveal an ounce of hurt. Anna recognizes the rich playboy she'd loved years ago is long gone, if he ever truly existed at all. Perhaps she'd simply seen what she wished to believe until the illusion eroded away painfully. Now only steely determination fuels her while negotiating the remains of their crumbled marriage. They reach an agreement just shy of dawn. Anna retains the mansion, significant financial reparations and control of several luxury residential towers David had acquired in recent years. She will assume operations of the properties, learning hands-on estate management skills quickly. David had gloated over outbidding Blake for control of those glittering skyscrapers after all. Now Anna will demonstrate feminine capability, succeeding where those powerful men dismissively thought she could not. Anna eventually permits David to gather a few belongings before leaving what was once their shared home for good. He appears shattered, abandoning so much hard-won wealth and status symbols behind. She almost pities his hunched, defeated posture, but then memories of their anniversary night flash ruthlessly. Chin lifted defiantly, she instead watches with cool satisfaction as he crumbles further under her glacier stare. The master bedroom door closes silently on that chapter of her life at last. Over the subsequent months, Anna embraces her new independence and career wholeheartedly. She proves a fast study at the myriad details required directing upscale property empires. Her residents and managers come to appreciate her fairness, personal touch, and intuitive grasp of luxury living details. She occasionally glimpses David in financial headlines, apparently attempting to rebuild his reputation abroad without success. His most vicious backers deserted him following whispers of the scandalous dossier Anna could still weaponize if necessary. But she finds she prefers simply moving on, too busy thriving on her own now to waste thought on past mistakes. When Blake unexpectedly contacts Anna months later, she meets him nervously at his penthouse office. They share stilted small talk before Blake finally clears his throat. "I wanted to thank you properly. My board told me how an anonymous investment group basically saved Bayshore hotels from bankruptcy. And I strongly suspect I owe that mystery guardian angel my eternal gratitude. Anna blushes but holds his earnest gaze. Someone had to balance the scales when it became clear not everyone in your circle deserves trust. Consider it correcting an injustice. Blake appears both stunned and deeply moved. He takes her delicate hand in both of his large ones, staring intently into her eyes now. However it happened, I owe you everything, Anna. Truly. Thank you for believing in me. I don't deserve your faith, but I swear to earn it back someday. Anna squeezes his hands tightly, laying her heart bare. I once loved a man blinded by ambition and greed. Don't become him, Blake. Stay the generous friend who saw more for me once. Our city needs visionaries building hope, not crushing it for profit. They share memories over coffee. He makes her laugh again. Blake asks her to dinner the following week, then a charity gala the next. Soon they spend most evenings together, often talking until sunrise. He accompanies Anna on inspections of spectacular new condos she's acquiring to transform into exclusive rental properties. His contacts prove invaluable, helping her establish footing amidst ruthless industry veterans. In return, she gently encourages Blake to take risks upgrading his hotels and seeking out lucrative global partnerships. He admits Anna inspires him to reach further than he imagined possible before. They make a formidable team professionally, and undeniably more personally as the months pass, bonded by trust and vision. On a cool autumn evening almost a year to the day Anna signed her divorce papers, Blake takes her back to the Ivy League campus quad where they'd first met. The sprawling grounds glow amber under sentimental string lights. Blake rambles adorably over his rehearsed speech before dropping to one knee, clutching a stunning diamond ring. You helped me build the life I always wanted but was too afraid to chase, he confesses emotionally. Now I can only see my future dreams with you by my side. Say you will, Anna, marry me? Heart overflowing, Anna pulls him up into a searing kiss, whispering yes against his joyful lips. No mockery or secrets live between them now, only open hands and unlocked hearts. Their lives evolve steadily together, two empire builders embracing ambition while holding the other accountable. Over time Anna grows closer with her sister Gia again too as they mature. She often rescues her baby sister from dubious new paramours or artistic misadventures gone awry. After one broken lease too many, Anna invites Gia to become building manager for her newly acquired Forest Towers complex. To everyone's surprise, Gia excels at the opportunity to channel her free spirit into remodeling hip urban spaces. Each sister learns from the other over the years. Anna embraces more spontaneity as Gia discovers functioning ambition. A few weeks before Anna and Blake's wedding, Gia approaches hesitantly with news of an exclusive retreat center offering intensive therapy. It's really progressive and low-key. They focus on mindfulness, self-worth, healing trauma, she explains gently. I think visiting could help you leave the last ghosts behind. If you want to, no pressure. Anna hugs her sister tightly, reflecting how much wisdom Gia has gained. Which is how Anna finds herself crossing the wooded trailhead to Genesis Retreat on the morning of her wedding. She wakes at sunrise among the quiet giants, allows the silent giants bearing witness to lift the last shadows from her spirit at last. Anna whispers long-held secrets and scars into the pine-scented wind, then watches them scatter peacefully under a symphony of birdsong. Her haunted echoes drift up and away into the clearing dawn light. She is ready now to embrace boundless love without sharp edges. The ceremony late that afternoon glows golden under festive twinkling lights. Lively music fills their sweeping backyard as beloved friends spin and laugh on the dance floor until midnight. Gia's riotously colorful bouquet tosses straight into the stunned arms of Lucas Wright, Anna's stylish right-hand administrator. Gia's subsequent delight prophesizes that particular romantic plot twist to Anna's knowing amusement. When the last guest reluctantly departs, Anna curls up with her new husband feeling both blissfully weary and entirely cherished. She sighs contentedly surrounded by beauty of their making. At long last here is a partner gazing at her with admiration burning brighter than any flawless trophy. After so many cold years starving for real connection, Anna basks joyfully in Blake's tender reverence. She holds hope too for Gia, Lucas, and all those she now considers family more than staff, that they will each know this breathless delight being truly seen and celebrated for everything they are underneath any facades. Scarred butterflies, transformed not by pain endured but by at last risking fragile wings again. Here together they will build the world desired in their deepest hearts. For tonight, Anna whispers a secret promise into the hollow of her husband's throat, vows as sacred as any binding words they'd spoken before gathered witnesses today. Eyes shining equal parts mischievous and tender, she tells Blake just how perfectly their future unfolds. After tucking their sleepy new son and daughter safely beneath quilts scattered with constellations, she will join him waiting below a dazzling sky with a bottle of champagne they'll share. And Anna will dance with her bare feet grounded yet spirit soaring among their children's sweet dreaming, grateful beyond measure for courage that set her broken wings finally free,